you guys to pile in here. We just got out of the parking lot. Definitely not the result that we wanted. It's tough being a Georgia Tech fan. You know, we get 2 wins in a row. Hadn't beat Clemson in 8 years. Offense ranked, 14th in the country. Thought we had something. Oh yeah, Syracuse is a must win to make a bowl. I think a lot of people are going to look at 42 points they put up. I don't even know what the final score ended up being, and think that was on the defense. It weren't. It weren't on the defense. Appreciate the $2, Buzz Talk. Ashamed of this team today. I wouldn't even say I'm ashamed, man. I'll tell you what happened in that game. We got handled, blown out. Just put that out there. Got blown out by a much more talented team. But as far as, number one, I don't think the defense played that bad. Every time the offense had the ball, I would look down at my shoes for a second and I'd look up, it would be third down. Just weren't able to get anything going. And really, look, when you're going into a hostile environment like Clemson, and not that I'm necessarily singling Singleton out, but he had 2 bad drops. And football is an emotional momentum swing game. And I also think there's going to be a lot of criticism of Haynes King. But those 2 drops hurt him. We only had 1 passing yard going into half. We were struggling to get to 100 by the third quarter. 13 should have been switched to 6. Yeah, he did not have a good game. He definitely didn't have a good game. And honestly, this showed up with him last week. He had a bad drop against Virginia. He's a young kid. I do think Leary was out there a good bit from what I remember. Simona, I don't know if you were at the game or not. I wonder if the stupid Fire Key crowd is going to come out. I mean, they can. I mean, they'll just look dumb. Buzz Talk with the 5. It was 42-21. We shot ourselves in the foot drive after drive. Hell, final score could have been 42-35 without the 2 drop touchdowns. Yeah, I think we were really up on our offense going into this game. We played a top-notch defense, and that showed us kind of where we are in offense, which there's some flaws. The key to stopping Georgia Tech's offense is honestly just stacking the box, taking the run away from Tech, and forcing Haynes King to throw into, man-on-man coverage. Because they were getting pressure on them as well. And this is kind of what we've seen all year. When Haynes King, in a game like that, he's going to force balls, and he's going to make really bad decisions. I mean, 4 picks, not good. 1 pick 6, and I can't say that any of those picks were necessarily weren't on him. They definitely were. I mean, our defense was out there 20 minutes in the first half. I don't know what the final time of possession ended up being, but it had to be 35 minutes to 12 or something. I've seen the offense this bad, but I've never seen the OL this bad. Look, whenever you get blown out like that, I think emotions, you want to say things like, well, the offensive line's garbage. Offense is garbage. Haynes King's is garbage. But when in reality, if you sleep on it a night and you come back, you probably say, Clemson's just a way more talented team. and we made a lot of mistakes. You can't make mistakes like that when you're out talented like that on the road, because we came out really ready. We gassed them on the ground a little bit on that opening drive. Weren't able to cash in on the two drops with Singleton Jr., and that, I think, really turned the tide of the game, and we were never able to get it back. So, hate it. We don't play Clemson next year. I will say this: really cool environment. I think if you get a chance to go to Death Valley, changes have to be made. Yeah, and I don't know what changes you're necessarily talking about. I think this is a team that hasn't had a lot of success in a while, and it's a process to learn how to keep that rolling. We definitely have to keep recruiting. Something we don't want to hear, we kind of need to get our NIL um, a little bit more attractive to attract. Um, look, we need two linebackers and two defensive linemen bad. Buzzsaw with the $2 super chat says, "Are y'all friends with Pigskin Pete?" I actually went on Pigskin Pete's live stream with Sea Dog at halftime. Yeah, I am. I am good friends with Pigskin Pete. Pigskin Pete's a really good dude. I have Pigskin Pete's one of the people I respect the most in the college football YouTube community. He's a really good dude. I think you should stop going to games. Aren't you like 0-5 going? I'm 0-2 this year. Yeah, maybe I should stop going to games. That was smart, getting scared of Clemson. I don't know I don't believe that you're a legitimate fan, dude. I mean, just getting our stuff together, work on one accord. Yeah, look, right now, the goal for this year was to make a bowl. We hadn't made a bowl since 2018. You got to build this thing brick by brick and one step at a time. Your goal, I mean, obviously, you want to win every game that you play. I think I even said someone on the face group said, I think this loss was a good thing or something. That loss is never a good thing. But you got to do the next thing in front of you, which is to make a bowl. You have an opportunity with a Syracuse team next week that struggled. I think they play Pitt today. They don't have an ACC win yet. Should be a very winnable game. Get you to a bowl, and then start working off of that. I think you spend money on a good DC and hit the portal. It's not clear to me that our defense is a defensive coordinator problem, honestly. Buzz with the 5 says, I'm going to be honest, I don't see how Pete was ignoring Sea Dog, pouring salt in his wounds, being a smartass was making me mad just walking. Yeah, but let me tell you something. If Tech won that game, Sea Dog will be giving Pigskin Pete hell. I mean, you kind of can't expect when the team you root for is winning that the guy's not going to be excited about that. Well, let me say we are going in the right direction. I think you're right, Simona. Like, we've had some curious losses, and for sure. Clemson was a 14-point favorite for a reason coming into this. I mean, this was going to be a tough win. But, yeah, we are moving in the right direction. I do think Buster Faulkner is a really good offensive coordinator. I think we have a really deep wide receiver room. I think when you don't force Haynes King, you put him in a situation where he's got to make every single throw every single time. Um, he plays a lot better for sure. This year has been rough at times. Bowl game was a goal, though, still attainable. It definitely is. Maybe I just don't know him enough. I don't know. The vibe seemed weird, like he was pissing Sea Dog off. Well, Sea Dog was going to be pissed no matter what. I'll tell you this. I've met Pigskin Pete in person more than once. I've talked to Pigskin Pete on the phone. Pigskin Pete's a good dude. I think Georgia Tech gave up on the running game too early today, gambled on the big plays, which would have worked out had we not dropped 2 touchdown passes. Remind me of Ole Miss game. Well, here's the thing. Clemson knows that the strength of our offense is running, so they just took that away from us. They just stacked the box. They blitzed probably 80% of the time and said, you're going to have to beat us throwing the ball, and Haynes King threw 4 picks. So that's what happened there. Need to get better linebackers. Yeah, there was one touchdown in particular, I think when they went up 35-7. Mola was covering the guy, and it wasn't good. I'll put it that way. He never turned around, never really made a play on the ball. He just kind of put his arms up. Uh, I think Haynes was scared shitless. I don't think that's the case. I mean, if you play bad, does that mean that you're scared? I don't think so. I don't think so. This game is going to put Tantor back in the hospital. It might. It might. Yeah, Tantor. I imagine Tantor will say that that wasn't totally on the defense either. I mean, again, when you're struggling to get to 100 yards of offense with like 7 minutes to go in the third quarter, I mean, what do you expect is going to happen? I do think they got in their head after a while. Well, once you get down 2 and 3 scores, it makes everyone play really tight, right? And you're kind of not focused on making plays or doing your job. You're focused on the thing not getting any worse, or you're focused on trying to make some type of spectacular play, which can just unravel like it did into making a lot more mistakes. Even though I don't have a great record going to games, I will be at the Syracuse game, and I'll have to see what happens. I've talked to Macho Wreck; he might make an appearance at the Syracuse game. We'll see how that goes. Yeah, he definitely wasn't on it. I mean, look, no one's going to argue and say that he wasn't. He was on his A game or something. That drop in the first possession kind of let the air out of the team. Yeah, if you can dial up those plays, I'm not saying that we win the game, but it's definitely a different ball game at that point. It's like I said, it's momentum swings, and emotions play so much into the game. Dude needs some serious handwork. Well, you guys got to remember, Singleton Jr. is 18 or 19 years old. He's a true freshman, so he's played out of his mind up to kind of the Virginia game, and then he's had 2 games where he hadn't necessarily had his best games. Buzz with the $5 says people are going to blame King. I know that, but the thing people fail to realize is that you cannot force a quarterback to make all the plays against a number 6 overall defense. No, you can't. No, you can't. I mean, that's what you. I think that's a good point. When it's just, hey, you got to throw the ball into tight coverage to stay in the game every time. It's not good. I think our Achilles heel is the coin toss. We got to receive the kickoff in the second half. We win. Maybe, yeah. We did. The only blowout win we've had was when we won the coin toss. You might be on to something there. That's for sure. Can we get Papa Rex take on the game? What do you think? What's your take on the game?
We just got to be patient. It is a process, and game by game, turn by turn. We just got to step back, wait to the end of the season, see how we do next week. Hopefully, we shouldn't be overconfident going into next week's game. If there was something, I mean, that's a humble bunch today, so we'll just have to scratch this one and go to the next one.
There you go. There's Papa WreckTalk State. Got his headset on, man. He's ready to go. Yeah, look, you got to put this one behind you and come out and get a win next week at home. Luckily, it's a night game. We need to pack the dot out, support the team, have it loud in there, get bowl eligible, and then who knows what happens the next week. I don't feel great about it with what Clemson's defense was able to do to us. But yeah, Rex, thank you for being irrational when talking about this team. My blood pressure has lowered listening to this post game. Was super pissed before. Well, here's the thing. I had to walk Well, we walked about 2 miles. I had a lot of time to calm down. I was not this calm in the stadium. Um, Also, there's a guy, Cade Club, Nick, but it's spelled differently, that comments, and he's like, "You gonna get a calf workout today?" How many steps we had to walk up? 105. It was 105 steps, about a 60-degree angle straight up. So I think I lost probably 5 pounds today, so which is a good thing. Where were you? Oh, you were there, BC. I was in KK. We were about 10 rows down from the very top in TDS section. Offense couldn't stay on the field, leading to a worn out defense. Yeah, when your defense is out there, just here's the thing. Here's the other thing we hadn't talked about. There was a time when our special teams had 20% as many first downs as our offense did. We only had 4 or 5 first downs for a long time in that game. I think we ended up with maybe 10, probably, if I had to guess. Um, and I don't even know that it was a scheme thing. I do think schematically there were some things we could do better. When King throws the ball, he really likes to look downfield. He likes to throw it 20 yards downfield or further. Teams that have been successful throwing against Clemson have done it from 10 yards back to the line of scrimmage. I don't know that we threw, other than these screen passes that we're absolutely obsessed with throwing for no gain, a loss, or an incompletion. I don't know that we threw a single slant today or drag or anything like that. So I could be wrong. Did you notice that the lower and upper decks don't connect? I did. Thank God I asked somebody. Um, I was like, "Hey, how do I get to KK?" And he's like, "Oh, you got to go up this ramp," because I had walked down initially. So yeah, they don't connect. I'm 0-1 in away games. My first one. Yeah, I'll tell you, I don't regret it though. That was a really good experience. I didn't have a single Clemson fan, by the way, say anything derogatory toward me, even after they blew us out walking back, which is they didn't really do it at Ole Miss either. I had one confrontation with someone at Ole Miss, but no, Clemson fans, like I've said before, I don't have a problem with Clemson fans. Clemson fans have been really good to me. I noticed that we couldn't get yards off of screens, but Clemson could. Well, that's because our perimeter blocking isn't very good. And by that, I mean our wide receivers struggle to block that. I'll say that specific screen for one reason or another. I think Clemson probably had like 450 yards of offense or so. And I know what the thinking is behind the screen is you throw that and maybe you don't get anything off of it for 3 plays in a row, and then you run the wheel off of it and it's open. It's worked for us before. We have been able to dial it up. Clemson's secondary is just really, really good, and they're really good in man coverage, which we saw today. Other thing we haven't really talked about, Clemson's defense really fast. That probably is the fastest defense we've played today. They flow the ball well, stepped in front of balls. Now, Papa Rec is right. Got to be patient. A lot to build off of. I'll tell you guys a secret. Papa Rec's right about most things. If you take his advice and not mine, you're probably going to do a lot better in life. It. Just is what it is. You know, um, I was going to bet the money line on Ole Miss, Alabama years ago, well before I ever started a channel. And smartly, I asked him about it. He said, "Well, you tired of giving your money to all these other people, I guess you can give it to the bookie too." And he would have been right. I would have lost on that. Bus talk with a $5 super chat. My hate for Dabo lives on. Up 3 touchdowns in the fourth and still going for it on fourth down and running trick plays. To top it off, they rush the field. Oh, well, that's their thing. They rush the field every time. Um, I don't really have a problem with Dabo going for it though. We were going for it. We're trying to get back in the game, so I don't really have a problem with him going for it when they're up. Do. Pretty sure Clemson rushes the field every time. They do. I guess it's good exercise. But yeah, I mean, I'm kind of surprised that I'm as calm as I am about. It probably helps I'm in the truck with Papa Wreck. I might be a little different. If that that weren't the case. Some trying to tell you, but you wouldn't listen. Tell me what, Gabe? Saying GD in the chat. Y'all about to take an L tonight to Ole Miss, so you can go run that back to Athens. Carson Beck. Carson Beck looks like it from that Stephen King horror film. Carson Beck walks into a room and the kids run away in horror. Probably the ugliest human being alive. They were letting their running backs throw back. Well, I'll tell you what did sicken me is they had three people touch the ball on that flea flicker that Cade Klubnik completed for a first down, and we still, you shouldn't be able to do that. There should be someone in the backfield disrupting that. But yeah, let me see if I miss anything in the chat. Carson Beck looks like the kid from the Mask movie and Cher. They said Carson Beck looks like that dude from. He does, man. In fact, if there was a sighted girl, unlike that movie, that had to pick between the two of them, we know who she'd pick. Give me that long face dude. Yeah. In fact, a chick would probably pick Cher over Carson Beck. What are the dogs? A 10.5 point. Cares about Georgia. No one in here does. It is nice rural area out here in Clinton. I'm trying to think. If we had any special teams staffers. We did convert a first down on special teams. Uh, Clemson definitely knew we were faking it, and Singleton threw that. So Singleton has a pass completion. What's going on over here? Oh, is someone in a camper? Oh, we're coming to a stop up here. I don't know what that was about. Anyways, well, I don't really have anything else to say about the game, but Buzz Talk with the $2 super chat says King was 3 for 31, 129 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 4 picks. Yeah, that wasn't good. That wasn't good. It is fitting that someone trolling Georgia stuff is named Gabe. That sounds like some Amish dude that churns butter. Gabe. Gabe might be uglier than Carson. But yeah, no, Haynes-King did not have a good game at all. You got to bounce back. Got to bounce back. But yeah, I don't have the stats in front of me. We weren't able to run the ball. That's a good spelling, Ben. Anyways, I'm gonna hop off here though, guys. I've kind of said my piece. I might, when I get back and get my kid to bed, stream what I can. I won't be able to make it for the kickoff of the Georgia game where um, they get run out the stadium by the Rebels. But I'll talk to you guys later. Appreciate you guys coming in. Y'all have a good one.